please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Hi there, good morning and welcome. This is Chartbusters, the show where we get you all the buzzing stocks of the day and expert advice on how to capitalize, trade on those stocks. As we speak, I'm Mangla Malu, with me is Nigel. Absolutely flat on the front line indices, but the mid-caps, they are roaring as we speak.
Absolutely, Manglam. I don't know what's happening. Every day we see the Nifty opening well in the green, and then in fact we do see some selling from the top. Just take a look at that. We're moving lower as we speak. The Nifty Bank as well is almost in the red. Eicher Motors is the stock. Maybe in fact the street, they expect the boy who's coming first in class to continue coming first. And that's why, in fact, even though they delivered a bit of a growth, but a bit of a miss in terms of what the street was working with, and the stock moves lower. Cipla is the other stock that's seeing some selling. And in fact, Oro Pharma as well. That's the other one in there that's coming for some profit booking. So these stocks, they're showing some weakness. GMR Infra from the broader markets, well, the stock was holding more or less flattish. Now it's down close to around 2%. That's a nervous looking market, actually. I think a move towards 10,500 is seeing some selling. While in fact, a move towards the 10,420 odd. That's the recent low that we made. But how do you trade the Nifty? We have Ashwani Gujral with us. Hi, Ashwini. 10,450. What's the trade on the Nifty for today?
See, the upside has probably come down from 10,550 to 10,500. The downside still seems to be hanging around 430, 450, 10,000. So there's a good chance that at some point the lower end goes, and then we are able to move lower. But clearly at the moment Bank Nifty has given up all its gains. Nifty hardly in the green. So good time to still go short on the market, because today the decline has started much earlier in the day than yesterday. So chances are that more selling pressure could come in later on in the day, because today probably global markets are not as positive as yesterday. Having said that, Reliance Naval is a sell with a stop of 59, target of 50. Eicher is a sell with a stop of 29,000, target of 28,350. And Prestige Estate is a buy with a stop of 335, target of 360.
All right, Ashwini, a word on Coal India. That stock should come up for you. We got the December dispatch numbers, and they were almost 99% of what the company had earlier estimated. This week, it's up around 9%. Did nothing last year, was an underperformer. Do you think it can test that earlier high of 280, 290 plus levels as far as Coal India is concerned?
So it looks like it's held on to its 200-day moving average, so maybe can move towards 280, 300. But that's kind of, one-off type of play. I think the big issue would remain that, how financials react to all of this macro changing, and that will determine what happens to our market.
Okay, all right. Thanks so much for that, Ashwini. Well, Coal India as well. Remember, the good news is that 53.8 million tons dispatched in a single month. I've been tracking the company from the time it's listing, actually. I've never ever seen that in a single month. The asking rate, though, is 59 million tons. So after being a big underperformer, good to see that, in fact, there is some green on the screen. But Manglam, tomorrow is a Friday. But you're tracking milk and some of these dairy stocks. What's the news there?
Irrespective of Friday, you drink milk every day, no alcohol.
Important. Absolutely.
And I'll tell you what, Nigel, when the father talks, everyone got to listen. And the father in the dairy industry in India is Amul. We earlier had R.S. Sodhi who spoke to us. Remember all these dairy stocks, Parag Milk, Prabhat Dairy. Prabhat Dairy, in fact, has doubled in the last 1 year, Heritage Foods too. He has said that the milk procurement prices have fallen down to 18 rupees per litre, and this compares to 26, 27 that they were paying last year. Earlier, we had reports that they had fallen to what, 23, 24, as low as 22. But sub 20 is the comment coming in from R.S. Sodhi. This is a positive for milk companies because their raw material costs come down. So this is margin accretive. Though we also need to know what the government does. Can they go ahead and increase the milk procurement prices or let the milk be exported so as to benefit those farmers who are getting lower milk procurement prices? So by and large looks positive for the dairy companies given their raw material cost goes lower. This is margin accretive. We need to know how much of that is in the price and what the government does going forward. That's the caveat, but this is a positive. Let's hear out Mr. R.S. Sodhi himself, who spoke about lower milk procurement prices.
Today, if you see, most of the part of India, except Gujarat, farmers are in distress for getting good price for the milk. The price today prevailing is the lowest last 4 years. Last year, the farmer in Maharashtra was getting 26, 27 rupees. He is getting 18 rupees. What is the reason is high commodity stock. So what is required is, if just government of India helps in exporting small quantities of these surplus commodities, then price of milk will increase. So one side, farmers who is facing lower price in the agriculture commodity, they can get good price out of the milk.
Well, and as promised, let's focus on LT Foods. Well, the stock is up close to around 50% in the last 3 months. Even in the last 1 month, that's today's chart, but I'm sure my director is going to get that up for you. Yes, 55%. And pull up a 1 month chart as well. You'll see that the stock has moved very, very swiftly. Now, to discuss what's happening with the company, what are the growth prospects, we're currently joined by Mr. Arora, the MD and CEO of the company. Hi, Mr. Arora. Thanks so much, sir, for joining in. Well, we were aware that you had raised some money via a QIP. If you could tell us what was the response and also what do you aim to use this money for?
Okay. So, very good morning.
Morning.
So, the QIP was 400 crore.
Okay.
And we have got a very good response from the investor. And the money we are going to use is for strengthen the balance sheet and for the future growth perspective. And as far as business is concerned, so the business is growing as per the plan.
Mr. Arora,
yes.
if you could give us a few details. You said that it's for strengthening your balance sheet. That was the first part of why you required this money via the QIP. So 400 crores is what you have raised. How much of that is to strengthen the balance sheet? What was the debt in the books earlier? What is it now? Or are you going to use this money for expansion? Give us some details, sir.
So last year, the debt was 1,600 crore.
Okay.
So the idea is to reduce 150 crore on the debt.
Okay.
And rest is for working capital and no capex.
All right. Mr. Arora, you're talking about great response to your QIP. If you take a look at the stock price, 210% in the last 1 year. That's not yours itself. Your peer KRBL2, that stock has doubled over the last 1 year. The sudden interest in the rice sector by these investors, what exactly do you think is the trigger? What is changing in the industry? Rice we've been eating since forever, and what has changed in the industry to suggest such kind of investor interest?
So industry is almost divided in two parts. So in India there are companies who have from farm to fork. So the company who have a strong brands. So that's one. There is the private label player. So the branded players are doing good. They are growing. So that's differentiating. The companies like LT Foods with the Daawat and Royal Strong brand.
Okay, Mr. Arora, you said that you'll be, bringing your debt down by more than 100 crores approximately. Currently, your finance cost on a quarterly basis is around 34 crores. So,
yes.
how much of interest will you be saving? If you could give us what is your current borrowing cost and what is the interest savings that we could see for a full year, that is for FY19?
Yes. So at the moment, the funding cost is around 10%.
Okay.
And we will save on a yearly basis around 40 crore on the interest. And rest, we will have better rating, and that will further help us improving our funding cost.
So how will you say 40 crores? Yeah. You were telling us that you're looking to use only around roughly around 100.
So in a year, so this year, this is the peak time, the March, but full year basis. by improving our funding cost and the.
What's your full year interest outgo, sir? What is your full year cost of finance, and what will it come down to, if you can tell us that?
So on a full year basis, we are targeting to reduce our funding cost by way of better buying funding. So that will be 40 crores.
40 crores, okay. So, but you said you're looking
on full year basis.
You're looking to pay how much, repay how much of your debt?
At the moment, around 150 crores, 150 crores.
150 crores, then how can you save interest of 40%, sir, 40 crores?
So that's what I'm saying on full year basis, but that's I'm talking about by 31st March balance sheet.
Okay, so you'll be repaying some more debt. You'll be repaying some more debt via internal accruals, is what you're trying to tell us.
Yes.
Okay, great. So we've got that point away. Then you're telling us that in fact 40 crores is what you'll repay, you'll save in terms of interest cost. We were talking about your peers, sir. KRBL, for example, their margins are much higher. If I'm taking a look at your half-year margins, it was roughly around double digits, around 11-12% approximately. Can we see margin improvement further from here, because you have been improving your margins?
So that's the plan, is to improve the EBITDA margin on year-on-year basis.
Okay.
So that will come from the scale. The company has a plan to grow year-on-year.
How much?
By 12 to 13%. So with the scale, we will improve our, and some will, on the efficiencies, we will improve our margin.
All right, and before we let you go, just a word on the kind of inventory that you're sitting on right now. The average cost last time you said was 47 rupees. Is that currently the cost as well? And your outlook on rice prices, currently it's what, 60 rupees a kg?
This year, the paddy prices have gone up by around 20 to 30%. So the paddy costing will go up, because we are sitting on the peak season of procurement. So the cost will go up, little bit of the stocks.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot, Mr. Arora, for joining in and giving us all those details. With that, we'll sit into a short break. Come back. We'll get you more on the markets, stock-specific action on the other side. Stay tuned. Let's get talking to one of the corporates. We have Nesco. The stock is up about 35% in the last 1 year, but yesterday saw a bit of a volume spike as well as a price spike. In yesterday's session, it was up about 6.5%. So to discuss the company's growth plans and capex, we have Mr. Sumant Patel, the executive chairman of the company, joining us on the phone line. Thanks a lot, Mr. Patel, for joining in. First up, Happy New Year to you.
Thank you.
The big trigger for Nesco, which is the capex, which is supposed to be underway. You have an exhibition center coming in, the construction of your IT4 building. Just a status check on how far we are before these go on stream. And once that does go on stream, what is the kind of revenue potential?
The project which has made good progress is IT Building 4, which is 16 floors. Out of that, 10 floors are completed. And we expect to complete the building in the first quarter of 2018-19. That's by about June.
Okay.
And we expect to do the finishing by September. And the investment there is about little over 500 crores. We already spent about 340 crores on the IT4. So that is making good progress. And the expansion of the exhibition center, all the designs have been finalized by the Australian architects whom we had employed. And we expect to start construction in the later part of next year, 2018-19. That will be about 600 crore investment, which we also expect to finance from our own resources.
All right. Mr. Patel, you're telling us that you're expecting the construction of that IT4 building that you were talking about to be completed by the middle of 2018 or the second half.
Yes.
What kind of a revenue potential, sir, that you must be having some rough estimates for FY19 first, and then it'll be available for the full year, FY20. So you must be having some numbers that you're working with. If you could help us out with that.
The building, when fully completed, should have revenues of 200 crores or slightly more than 200 crores.
Okay.
And in the year 2018-19, we should have about half year available. So we should have about 100 crore revenue in the year 2018-19.
All right, 100 crore revenue in the first half of 18-19 and 200 crore annually. All right, that explains the IT business. Now we move on to the exhibition business. You said the construction will begin later. So let's talk about what's happening right now. We see you doing a lot of these music festivals and a lot of the consumer-facing exhibitions in your IT space. Does that have higher realizations? Is that mix likely to change going forward?
Yes, well, we have in the exhibition center, Bombay Exhibition Center, we have almost 700,000 square feet space, which we provide both to exhibitions and also for events, what you mentioned. And I think they have become extremely popular. We have a number of events, and there was a very good response, like the music concert which we had. Then we had a Filmfare award night.
Wow.
And
do you get higher money for that? Our short point is, do you get higher money for that? I understand that it is popular, but do you as a company get more money from these events?
Yes, the revenues are good. The bottom line is also good for these events.
Okay, all right. Just hold on to that thought, Mr. Patel. Well, we have the PSU recap that's likely today. So that's, that's the big number. Approximately PSU bank recap bond size likely to be approximately 80,000 crores. So I think we should pull up the PSU banking index. Let's see what's the reaction.
We are seeing some reactions.
Yeah,
SBI should come up for you. Ooh. SBI, the biggest of them all, 0.4% higher in the last few minutes, and it's moved to the high point of the day. Let's pull up another couple of stocks as well. Bank of Baroda, Punjab National Bank, both of them should come up for you. The PSU banking index, of course, is higher. These are important flashes that are coming on the screen. That PSB recap announcement likely today. We'll try to get in.
Absolutely, we should get Sapna. I think we have Sapna with us. Sapna, oh, we don't have her as yet. We should be having Sapna any point of time, because what she's saying is that in fact the PSB recap bonds is not to affect the fiscal deficit, and the government may seek Parliament nod for the PSU banking recap. So we should get her as soon as possible, actually, just to fill us in. The stocks, clearly they're reacting. We'll be watching out for this piece of news, and it was rather important. Remember, when it was announced in the first place, we saw the PSU banking index really do a skyrocket on that day. Some stocks are up 20, 30, 40%. But yes, finally, we do have Sapna with us. Sapna, you're bringing us some source-based information. If you could fill us in, what's likely to happen? Quantum?
Hi, morning. So basically what we understand is that the bank recap announcement is likely today, sometime in the Parliament during the daytime. We also understand that, earlier on we had indicated that a Parliament nod would be required, but at that point in time, probably the government's plan was not really ready. So this time, likely today, it's going to come in the format of additional supplementary demands for grants. This is what we understand as of now. But the critical point over here to be noted is that it's likely that the first tranche of the PSB recap bonds is going to be around 80,000 crores. We also understand that the existing budget outlay for the current financials, that also is going to be released. But of course, for that, the Parliament nod is not required because it's already part of the budget. So that's the second aspect. Third, of course, these bonds are going to be offline. It's not going to impact the fiscal deficit at all. But as we earlier also discussed that, overall debt picture of the government, this has to be factored in. That's the reason probably the Parliament nod will be required. So we just have to wait for it to be tabled by the Finance Minister in Lok Sabha and then in Rajya Sabha respectively. And this is a big announcement to watch out for. We also understand that the modalities of the bonds, basically the coupon and all that, so you have to wait. Like, we really don't know whether there's going to be part of the supplementary that's coming today or a separate announcement. The modalities may take some time, further time to be announced.
All right, fair point there, Sapna. As you speak, a lot of the stocks are moving higher. We saw the frontliners moving higher. We saw SBI, BOB, Punjab National Bank. But take a look at the lower banks as well. We have the likes of Andhra Bank, that one has spiked. We have Oriental Bank of Commerce that has spiked as well. And the likes of Bank of India, all of them at the high point of the day. Remember, 2,11,000 crores was announced as far as the recapitalization is concerned. And now CNBC TV18 learns that 80,000 crore rupees of that would be given in today itself, and that is what we learn. With that, it's a wrap on Chartbusters, but you stay tuned to CNBC TV18.